Okay, hey, what's up, you guys? So I actually, this is Occult Cat TV. I'm your host, O'Shea, as well. You can call me Atanu. So let's get down to business. Someone actually asked a question here. Let's bring it up on the screen. Cranges McBasketball. Um, he was thanking me for a video, and he also says, if I open one Qliphoth, what happens when the experience is over? Will the energies just subside? Really good question, Cranges. I've actually been waiting for questions, so if you guys have any, leave them in the comments section as well. Like and subscribe. So let's get down to business. I got some stuff written, but as well, just I got some stuff on my mind. So let's go with what I have on my mind first. So as I journeyed from sphere to sphere along the Qliphoth. So something that he said in his question was, will it just subside? Will the energies just subside? In a sense, since you're path working the Qliphoth, the energies, yes, as you get into each sphere, they subside. But the thing is, they only subside because you've mastered that sphere, or you've worked with that sphere. So you've attuned yourself to those energies, and as you attune yourself to those energies, the more that you've worked with them, at some point you're shattering the Qliphoth. You're shattering the shell that holds you and harnesses you. Right? By shattering it, you're empowering it. It's just as if you were to shatter a being, some being that's trying to attack you in the astral or something. What would happen when you destroyed that being? It empowers you. It's the same with these spheres. As you work with them, you're working with them to attune yourself to them, so they no longer have influence over your life in the ways that they did earlier. Because if you the same way with planetary spheres. Why do we work with planets? We work with planets in order to attune ourselves to those energies. The planets are as well the spheres. So by working with the sphere, we are as well working with the planetary energies associated, or as well the deity associated with that sphere. So by path working it and going through that, by opening that sphere, like when you were in Gamaliel, right? You opened the sphere of Lilith, and as well in the Ma, and then going through those spheres, maybe you had experiences of dreams, lucid dreaming, sexual dreams. Lilith came to you. Lilith like ate my neck. Like she came to me in a dream. She just came at me, just ate my neck, which was an initiation. I have the voice to speak, the voice of the night side, and it's only from going through that experience that I was able to gain that ability to speak from the night side. Because what Lilith did when she attacked me was she reprogrammed my energetic field, my energetic makeup, my vocals. Because, as well for myself, this is where I had a near death experience. So she was, if I, if I dare to say, she was consuming the death essence within me so that I could continue to grow along my journey, removing those stagnant energies, helping me to see with clarity, helping me to see through the illusions. So, Lilith, beautiful and amazing spirit to work with, will help you through the Qliphoth along your journey. So, as you work with one sphere and you attune yourself to that, it's attunement. So I wouldn't say that it subsides, but the influence over you subsides. The influence that that sphere has over you now subsides. It's just like in a level in a video game, you could say, right? You go through that level so that it no longer, you don't have to play it anymore. You're not being held to that level. You're not being bound by the lessons that you need to learn, but no longer you've been granted the access to the next level. So as you get to the next level, you know what you learned in that sphere, in that first sphere or whatever sphere you're on. But does that mean you forget it? Like it's just not there? No, you just gained that energy, so you are now it. It is now you. Just like when I was working with the demonic kings, um, and I was working with Belial, it's I became Belial. He even said, "You have became me." So by working with him, working with that gate, I became that gate. Just because I became it, I finished that working. I finished working the work I needed to with Belial, and I attuned myself with him. Is Belial no longer in my life? No. But now those energies of Belial work through me, work for me, and empower me. Whereas they were first maybe working against me because I wasn't attuned. And it's the same with when people first start to work with Belial, they might get sick, they might not feel well, or something happens, but he's so high vibrational that what he's doing is removing your illusions, he's removing your disease, your illness, and he's kind of almost doing it all at once. So sometimes when people think are these negative things, as well being attacked in the Qliphoth, as much as we are attacked, these beings come at us, or being initiated, right? It's just to teach us, it's to train us to become more powerful. Imagine if Baal or Lucifer just started hitting you out of nowhere, with energy, just hitting you with energy, right? That's gonna hurt. You might be like, why are you attacking me? What's going on? But the thing is, it's because when you, as a vampire, if you were initiated in that way, if you're in the Qliphoth, you should be. It'll help you a lot. But it's because when a vampire goes through death, something's attacking it, trying to kill it off, attacking it. Lucifer attacks us, these beings might attack us, but it's to strengthen our energetic field, our energetic makeup. I remember when Baal threw me into a storm, literally just threw me into a storm, and he's like, hey, you see all this chaos? You gotta consume it. You gotta balance it. And he's like, this is you. So what I was doing in that ritual was, it was very uncomfortable, but I was, through my imagination, through my psychic abilities, I was learning how to calm my energy, how to calm the storm. Even if it wasn't my storm, I was learning how to calm a storm. So I can also direct that at other people. If they're going through so much chaos, I can help to calm that chaos. Just like a monk. Monks meditate so much that their energy is so pure that when someone tries to come and fight them, they can't even touch, they can't get through that frequency, that shield, that energy. So to go back to your question, if I open one Qliphoth, what happens when the experience is over? From my understanding, what happens is that we have attuned ourselves to that Qliphothic sphere. As we have attuned ourselves, we are now pulling on those energies. We have those energies at our disposal, like levels in a video game, and it's now not influencing you as much, so you're not bound by it, and you're using it to empower you. If you are a vampire, not sure if you are, but by embracing psychic vampirism and your vampiric ability, then you now consume those energies, so death empowers you, right? So if you went through Da'ath, you can't die. I'm not saying a physical death, but spiritually, mentally, you've solidified, and you start to go through Thamael and those, right? You've solidified yourself, your being, your consciousness, your awareness, so that death does not recycle you and you have to, reincarnate and all that. The Matrix bullshit, right? The Matrix is no longer affecting you in that way. You've subsided it, transmuted it, and now it's empowering you. So if you're in, I think it's Gob Shabla for Asmodee, right? Then maybe you might encounter some war experiences. I remember when I did, this is the one sphere when it's funny, I shifted into this, I got a reading. Reading literally said I was in this sphere, and then fucking 2 days later, or a week later, I actually fight someone, or have to fight someone to defend myself, and that was all the energies of Asmodee, of fighting and warfare. You could say like lust, but the opposite of lust, like lust for anything, like violence, like energy. And it was that war energy as well when I entered into working with Lucifuge, that it's that war energy. I think that's the Girion that I tapped into. And these energies feed each other, they amplify each other. It actually, when you look at the Qliphoth, it looks like a circuit. It's a circuit of energy, electricity, that all or circuitry, just like in a computer, right? That each one empowers the other. So when you've just done one or this or that, then it's not fully empowered. But as you start to get all the energies together and merge them from finishing your trials, you could say that this is when none of these energies can influence you, but now you are the commander and the creator of your own reality. Through embracing your own will, you now command these energies. You command that sphere, that Qliphoth, that being. So let's go into my notes a little bit. This is what I had written. In opening the Qliphothic sphere, attuning yourself to the Qliphoth is the point in opening the spheres. It's the same with the demonic keeper. The demonic keeper. The demonic gatekeepers. So we're attuning ourselves to it. So it doesn't subside, but instead we are consuming it. So it's now empowering us. The same with the Sephiroth. You work with the Sephiroth, the spheres, the planets. You are consuming all the planets. Their energies are now working for you. Mercury retrograde doesn't affect you as much, you could say. It's all, perception, awareness, focus, being disciplined. So the moon no longer affects you and makes you feel all crazy, right? But you've attuned yourself to it, and then it has no effect on you. And that's actually a really good example of the Qliphoth. The Qliphoth, we get disease, we get illness, these things start to attack us, affect us, right? Just like the moon. The moon can make us feel insane on a full moon. But what we do is attune ourselves to the moon. We moon gaze. We do these things to fill ourselves with that energy and empower our being. So it's the same with the Qliphoth. These destructive energies now empower us, and don't they destroy us, but they destroy the illusions, and from destroying the illusions we become more powerful. So I told myself I didn't think I was a fighter. I got into MMA. I got into a fight. I now showed myself I am a fighter. I can fight. I'm a warrior. And I had to go through that sphere, that influence, in order to empower me, to show me that I could do that. Right? It isn't until we do something that we see that we can even do it, that we have the ability to do it or even progress in it. Right? I never thought that I'd be teaching Qliphoth, Sephiroth, demon magic, shamanism, which I used to be someone that just played video games and jerked off, hung out with their friends, drank Dr. Pepper all the fucking time. And then I went through these rituals, these initiations to transmogrify my being, to transmute my being, so that I can bring out my divinity, my true self, my inner awareness. So okay, so these energies influence the cosmos, such as Hecate. Hecate is the universe. She is the galaxy, and then like Lucifer is the universe, and then Belial is the world. We can look at that. That is the understanding in primal craft. Um, these energies throughout the Sephiroth or throughout the Qliphoth influence the cosmos, the acosm and the macrocosm. So by working with these spheres, working with these energies, we are now taking these energies into our own hand. Similar with Lucifer, right? We work with Lucifer to take his energy into our own hands to empower us, so at some point we become Lucifer. This is why we invoke Lucifer, or why we invoke Belial, why we invoke Thoth or Horus, right? It's the same with these spheres. We We invoke the sphere to gain the influence, and then yeah, it might fuck us up a little bit. It might have some effect on us, but depending on how strong we are, how strong our will is, how empowered we are, and what we know what we're doing, we're able to transmute those energies that would originally harm us as well. This is why we take on psychic vampirism, why it's needed within the Qliphoth, because vampirism, all it is consuming energies. If When we get to the tunnels of Set, right? When someone's placed in the tunnels and they don't know, these energies affect them and death essence creeps into them and they can die, right? This is why so many people will die randomly and they don't know why they get cancer, why they get this or why they get that, because they were placed in the Qliphoth in some way, maybe through a music video, ritual, right? Or through another practitioner, or just trying to force energies on them and they weren't there, or just society in a lot of ways puts us in this state that we go into the Qliphoth. And honestly, we're born into the Qliphoth, we're born into these shells, and that's why we're in a matrix, why we're in an illusion, and as well why some of us can see, we have the eyes to see through this illusion, because we've done the work, we've attuned ourselves to the Qliphoth, and from that we've gained the perception. So from seeing, I actually have a video on this coming out soon that talks about the Eye of Abaddon, and that is seeing through the eye of the Qliphoth, seeing from truth. So all the Qliphoth as well as doing is subsiding the illusions that you held at the sphere that was earlier, right? Or whatever sphere that you're in, and once you go through it, you proceed, you're now removing those illusions that were binding you in a way that was preventing you from your daemon, preventing you from your godhood. So do the energies subside? Ask yourself. Inquire. Try to understand what you're going through. But I hope that Cranges and as well anyone else going through this, or Cranges basketball, and as well anybody else going through this and trying to understand the Qliphoth, it is really hard when you are in it, but as you start to get out and understand the journey that you went through and these trials, this is when you start to see where you're truly at. You don't know uh you don't know what you're in or what you're going through until you get out. And that's why you have to trust yourself, you have to trust the journey and everything that you're going through. Trust your deities, trust your guides, trust your intuition, your daemon, and what you know. So use these energies to your benefit. Use them to grow your life and create your empire. Instead of letting these energies destroy you, instead of praising them, use these energies to destroy your illusions, your limitations, and as well the limitations in your external world. This is why when we've entered into the Sephiroth, or into the Qliphoth, why we were stripped away from everything. I don't know about you guys, but I lost everything. I lost relationships, friendships, my phone my phone broke right as I was pretty much exiting the abyss. I lost my car, broke as well. I was fired from, wait, was I fired from a job? Pretty much, I haven't been doing like traditional work for a while, but I gained a job. So I like left a job but gained a job that was better for me as I was exiting the Qliphoth. I work at a comic book shop, which all of these were symbolisms, because when I look at the the daemon, that energy, the energy of your highest self, your greatest version, that is in comics. Whether it's just you seeing a superhero, that superhero is an archetype that you can embody and take on within yourself, just as these spheres are, just as these deities are. All these things are archetypes to empower you. So by attuning yourself to an archetype, it no longer has influence or control over you. You have control over it and can use that to your benefit. So whatever sphere you're in, try to take advantage of that sphere, those energies, and those trials, and Use them to push yourself forward, to grow and evolve. Do not be stagnant along your journey. The more stagnant that you are, that's the whole point of this system. It's trying to make you stagnant. It's trying to make you depressed. It's trying to hold you down. But when you subside, you dissolve your ego, and you just subside to the moment, then and you allow these energies to just process and kind of happen, and you just trust what you're going through, and you're calm and you breathe. That's how you can truly understand what you're going through. That's how you can understand the influence that these spheres have, and what you need to do as well to get to the next sphere and to continue to progress along your evolutionary journey. So with that, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. That was a 20-minute video. That was just understanding the Qliphoth and what happens. Okay, last thing. What happens when the experience is over? You go into the next Qliphoth. You go into the next sphere, and you continue that journey. Nothing is truly over until you are done, and even then, it's not over. Like enlightenment, everyone thinks, oh, I'm enlightened and then I don't have to do anything, right? No, enlightenment is a stream of consciousness we are merely jumping into, and it is endless. So after this, after we pass, after we die, there's more to do. There's more that needs to be done. And that's actually why the Qliphoth brings you into death. Da'ath kills you in a sense, and you start to be able to perceive spirits. You start to be able to create your reality, because you're being initiated into the mysteries of death. You are literally dying within the Qliphoth to be reborn as the phoenix and to rise as your daemon, as your greatest version. All of this is to test you, is to destroy the illusion, everything that is false, the false self, the ego. And then from doing that, you are dissolving the ego to replace it, or allow your daemon to come forward. So know that as you continue to progress along your journey, you're actually picking up pieces of your daemon, pieces of who you're meant to be along each Qliphothic sphere, as well regaining, when you get to the tunnels of Set, you're regaining all soul shards and aspects of yourself, and you're calling it back through the Qliphoth, through the tunnels, through Lucifer, or whatever being, you're working with, and that you're associated with the crown, right? Whatever being that you will have to face for your crown, that's the one that you use as well to help you draw in all the soul shards and aspects that you lost while in the Qliphoth and getting into it, so that you can become unified again, you can become whole. And as well, this is the whole reason for the Qliphoth. It's so that you can be unified, you can become whole. And with that, guys, I hope you have a beautiful day, and I hope that I answered your question, Cranges. As well, anybody else, if you guys have question, if anyone has questions, leave it in the comments section. As well, leave a like and subscribe. I'll be answering questions when I'm able to get to them. But as well, I recommend that you guys go check out my other content. A lot of good content, a lot of good videos on how you can progress, evolve in the occult, and bring that into your day and use that to progress and become your greatest version. And with that, guys, I'm O'Shea. As well, you can call me Atanu. This is Occult Cat TV. Stay blessed, stay hydrated, stay meditated, stay educated, stay elevated. Hope you guys have a beautiful day. Stay blessed. Peace and namaste.